Hi, welcome back to Shotoku Tech. In my previous video, we learned how to mount and format the eMMC module connected to the La Potato. Yeah, you use a Raspberry Pi. We've downloaded the latest image from Libre Computer. This is Raspbian Buster. There's that eMMC module. And we're going to compare it to the performance of an SD card running on the La Potato. We're going to do all this using the Raspberry Pi OS. Yeah, here's the latest bullseye from Libre Computer. And we're going to use this benchmarking script. The cool thing about this benchmarking script is it lets you see how your media compares to everybody else's tests. And that's globally. Yeah, there's over 60,000 tests in here. So this is going to be cool. I've never used Raspberry Pi Imager in Raspberry Pi OS, so here's how you install it if it's not installed. I'm copying and pasting that sudo apt install rpi-imager, but you can see here it's already installed. There were no changes. So let's go find Raspberry Pi Imager. It's down here under accessories. Okay, so we're going to download the correct image for our La Potato. That's the S905X-CC. And we want the desktop operating system this time. Yeah, this is just some generic SD card. It is supposedly Type 10, high speed, all that stuff. So here on my Raspberry Pi running Raspberry Pi OS, you can see I've downloaded that image file. Opening Raspberry Pi Imager, you go down to Custom, find the file you downloaded. Now we're going to choose our storage. There it sees our SD card. And we're going to go ahead and write. That's cool. You have to put your password in Raspberry Pi OS to do this. Now this can take several minutes, so we're going to go ahead and crop out an awful lot here. And it's writing, it's verifying, and we're done. You can now remove the SD card from the reader. So now we're going to boot up the La Potato on the SD card and run that storage performance script. There we go. You see I've removed the eMMC in this case too. When you get presented with that grub prompt, you have to hit enter, and you also have to hit enter here again to keep things going. Now we can see Linux is loading. We're probably going to speed some of this up too. Okay, coming up to the desktop for the first time, let's go through initial setup. Select your regional settings. And you need to create a user so that you're not just using the root Pi user account all the time. I think they've changed it so you can't even connect SSH anymore using the root Pi account. You have to have a separate account. Some patch of Linux, I'm not sure if it affects the Raspberry Pi OS or not, but we'll check that out later. Okay, we did check for updates. And now we're ready to restart. Yeah, we're booting up again on the SD card. Again, I cropped out a lot of the boot there to speed things up. Let's run this benchmark script. You just copy this line of code here and paste it into the terminal. And it's going to run the test of your storage, and it's going to post the results up on that web page. This takes 3 or 4 minutes on the SD card, so again, I'm just cropping out all of the dead spots. Looks like we're getting, yeah, the reads are 11 megabytes per second. And writing, I don't see that. Yeah, in and out, 11 megabytes per second. Seems kind of slow. Okay, our test is done. Now we're going to describe the hardware running. Libre Computer, La Potato, and a 32 gigabyte TF card. And I'm going to put the name Shotoku Tech there so it's easy to find. Now, we can click on this link and look at our results on the website, but I'm not quite interested in just looking at the SD card alone. Yeah, we want to go ahead and mount up that eMMC and install Raspberry Pi OS on that as well, run the same test, and then we'll have a comparison. So here we go. We're starting up the La Potato in boot mode with the eMMC attached. You hold down the boot button, connect the USB cable, and it's that top middle USB port that you need to do. Now here in Raspberry Pi Imager, I'm looking to see if I can choose the storage, and you see I can't. So you're going to want to watch the previous video where I show you how to run this script and it will mount your eMMC. There we go, paste that in the terminal. Yeah, there's things you have to install and such to use that command, so make sure to watch the previous video. Now, in Raspberry Pi Imager, I can see my Linux UMS 32 GB eMMC. And we're going to go ahead and write. Put your password in to authorize this action. And of course, we're cropping out some of this for the sake of time, writing, verifying, and we're done. So now we can do the initial setup on the La Potato running the eMMC. Yeah, where it says welcome to Grub, you have to hit enter to go past. And then on the Grub menu, you have to hit enter again. After we do the initial setup, the boot on the eMMC will be pretty quick. Again, the initial setup, we're going to configure our regional settings. We'll configure an additional user so that we're not just using the root Pi account. We'll check for updates. All right, updates are installed. And here goes our first boot to the desktop now on the eMMC. Let's hit restart there. Coming right back. Remember to hit enter when you see welcome to Grub. And I hit enter again and we're flying right into that Linux desktop Raspberry Pi OS. Seemed like the boot was a little quicker this time. Yeah, and the original boot on the SD card, I was actually cropping out everything but every 5 seconds of action. Okay, there's our test script again. Copy that. Open up the terminal and paste it in there. Test goes a lot quicker on the eMMC. I don't think I'm cropping out quite as much here. Oh yeah, you can see the read speed there, 147 megabytes per second compared to the 11 we were seeing on the SD card. 66 megabytes a second writing. Yeah, the I/O zone test takes the longest. I'm still cropping out a couple of minutes here probably. Okay, we're entering our description again. Libre Computer, La Potato with the 32 gigabyte eMMC. And we'll use our name, Shitoku Tech. Okay, we'll go back to pibenchmarks.com and check out the comparison between the eMMC and the SD card. So I refresh the page. It takes a couple of minutes for your results to show up. That's why I liked using my name rather than going anonymous. So we had a score of 3384. Let's check out the details here. Click on the test number, and that drills into the details. Yeah, that 3384 puts us above average, plus 704, plus 20.8%. That's some phenomenal speed. So we really want to compare this against the SD card now, so let's go back to the pibenchmarks.com page and pick up our SD card results as well. And again, it takes a couple of minutes for your results to show up. There we go, the Nextac SD from Shitoku Tech. There we go. All right, so we've got these side by side. Yeah, so SD card was a score of 551. It was a minus 215 versus the average, minus 39.02%. Yeah, boy, that's a average score, 766 versus 2680. Let's drill down into the results here. Yeah, it's a Class 10 card. Yeah, this Pi benchmark test really captures all the details of that storage and the operating environment. And here we look at these benchmark results, and in many cases we're 10 times or more, at least 5 times the speed of some of these categories here. Yeah, you're looking at 1,500 versus 11,000, 4,500 versus 20,000 on the reads and writes of the 4K there, IO zone, and then just the raw speeds here, 11.25 megabytes per second against 147 megabytes per second. And again, you look at the scores, wow. Okay, well, I really think we can see a marked difference between the eMMC on the La Potato versus using the regular SD card. Leave a comment down below what you think of this Pi benchmarks test and the work we've done with the La Potato on the Shitoku Tech channel. Give this video a like, and before you go watch more of my La Potato videos, please click on subscribe. Thank you very much.